Action.
Thank all of y'all who are watching. This is the Interfaith Conference, February 27, 2010. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
My name is Rashad Sharif. I'm the Imam at Masjid Al-Mu'minun in Memphis, Tennessee.
My name is Amelia Carlson. I'm the Director of Passionate Praises International Ministries.
Okay. Well, these two members, they're reoccurring members every month, so I don't have to go over the rules and regulations for the library. They know how to behave themselves, I'm sure. Let's just get down to the questioning. First question I got up here. What is the difference between religion and mythology? Now, this comes from Wikipedia. It says that religion is defined as a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of nature. And this one comes from Webster's Dictionary. A cause, principle, or system of belief held to with adore and faith. Now, Wikipedia says that mythology is a sacred narrative explaining how the world and humankind came to be in their present form. Webster's Dictionary says the definition of mythology is a unusually traditional story of extensively historical event that serves to unfold part of the worldview of a people or explain a practice, belief, or natural phenomenon. So, one extra thing that I've been taught in my philosophy classes, and it also mentioned this on Wikipedia, that mythology does not imply a false story. And people think that automatically it's just a made-up story. But a lot of people during the time of mythology, if you care to use that, they believe that these stories were true. So what is the difference between, in your guys' opinion, between religion and mythology? Either one. Go ahead. Ladies first.
The difference, I believe, between what you would consider a religion and mythology is many of the religions, especially the major world religions today, have some sort of an individual that you can prove existed. You can prove Muhammad lived and walked. You can prove Jesus lived and walked. The differences lie in what we believe about those individuals and what they taught. But with mythology, you know, of course, most people think of Zeus and all of them when you think of mythology, and there's no really tangible evidence that you can prove something like Zeus or anything occurred or lived or exists.
Okay. And would you like to add a little bit to that?
I think in one sense, the difference is in the perception of the person using the term.
Okay.
A person uses for religion for that which they consider more established, and they use mythology for that which they consider more or less just somebody's beliefs. But just linguistically, I have a disagreement with this Wikipedia first definition, Wikipedia for religion, a set of beliefs.
Okay.
Because the word religion comes from a word that means ties, basically.
Okay.
The L-I-G
Okay.
in religion is ties, like when a lady has her tubes tied, it's called a tubal ligation.
Okay.
And the part that ties the muscle to the bone is called a ligament.
Okay.
Okay? So it might be beliefs, practices, and duties, or something that ties. Okay? The B definition, a cause, principle, or systems of belief held to. So that suggests some timing. Okay?
Okay.
But a set of beliefs that doesn't involve any ties on your conduct can be called a faith.
Okay.
But the original definition of religion implied some obligation.
Okay.
The lig in religion and the lig in obligation both come from the same idea of some ties on the person who has a belief.
Okay.
So I would perceive religion without ties is basically faith.
That's another question we're going to get to later. Back to what you had said about the physical evidence. Now, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, there's a flood story, and where the gods with an S, small g with an S, they became angry with mankind for some reason, and they created the Great Flood. and they saved one mankind, and of course, his family was saved, and they all put animals on the ark and things of that nature. The Bible tells a similar story with Noah, and of course, with the Qur'an, they believe in Noah as well. Now, wouldn't that be considered mythology as well? Since, from my understanding, they haven't found the ark, and they have never found any historical records other than the Holy Scriptures that Noah ever existed. So, with stories like Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark, wouldn't that be considered mythology as well?
Well, again, you point to not everything in the Holy Scriptures, whether you're speaking of the Quran or whether you're speaking of the Bible, we can actually put our hands on. That's where faith comes in at in any religion. But again, you're thinking, or you're pointing back to, that's where the differences in the different religions come as how we interpret or how we believe who taught what and what their basis was. When you talk about the Epic of Gilgamesh, the interpretation of that, as opposed to the Noah's Ark story in the Bible, is just simply, though we can prove a flood existed, it's just simply how we interpret where that flood come from and what the purpose was.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to add anything?
Well, as I was saying, that the terminology is according to the perspective of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So a person that's inclined to can regard the Gilgamesh story as mythology, the Bible as mythology,
mm-hmm.
the Quran as mythology, depending upon one's attitude towards it.
Okay. Okay. And is there any, if you can point out any type of physical evidence, I know this is quite a very broad question and it goes with many subjects, but if you can just quickly put out any type of physical, tangible evidence of anything that's mentioned in the Bible or in the Quran.
Physical, tangible evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard, okay, and I'm not really a scientist, I'm not really into that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't spend a lot of time with that. But I know there are books written by scientists
mm-hmm.
talking about the scientific proofs of various things said in the Quran.
Okay.
I just don't happen to memorize them.
Okay.
But I think, the Bible and Quran both report concerning Sodom and Gomorrah and
Mm-hmm.
Lot, etc.
Okay.
And I think the scientists tell us that that's where the Dead Sea is now.
Okay.
Okay, and that nothing lives
Okay.
there. Okay, indicating some confirmation of the whole story
Mm-hmm.
about the obliteration
Okay.
visited upon that location.
Mm-hmm.
But there's embryology in the Quran, which was revealed 1,400 years ago, before there were microscopes and science at that time,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to talk about the development of the embryo and the stages.
Okay.
There's reference in the Quran to plants being male and female,
Mm-hmm.
which has been scientifically borne out subsequent to that.
Mm-hmm.
There is talking reference in the Quran to the order and structure of the heavens,
Okay.
which has been born, but I don't have the specific verses, but it's been borne out later, after the development of the telescope and those types of studies. I'm sure that there's similar things in the Bible as well.
Okay.
Well, when you look at the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, obviously, there are many things I guess you could point to, but one that strikes me when you asked your question is just recently, actually, in the last couple of weeks, some archaeologists have located over in what we term the Holy Lands, over in Jerusalem, Palestine, that area, the ruins, what they would call the ruins of King David's castle and kingdom, so to speak, that they claim is not only part of King David's, but obviously with Solomon's as well. And so when you look at the archaeology that has been discovered, again, in what we would coin the Holy Lands, which is to all of the lands surrounding Palestine and Jerusalem, the many discoveries of the existence of kingdoms and cities and places that at once was believed not to exist,